going to say, welcome, 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 one and all, children, parents, grandparents, people of all ages, all shapes and sizes, all degrees. We're talking bachelor's, associates, homeschool. Welcome to The End is...
Sigh.
How did you feel that I elevated my welcome in such a brilliant way?
Sure, yeah. Ringmaster Todd here. Yeah, by the way, that is Todd and I am Nate.
I was going to get to that. Last time we recorded, I think, every time we record, it seems like, I'm going to say last time, I always forget if we've even said our names, and then that's like, I prompt us, it's a whole thing. So I was actually going to get to it, and now I've done what I've just done. I just fulfilled a prophecy, now I'm explaining the name thing. But yes, this is I, he is he. Welcome to the episode. Nate, what do we do on The End is Sigh? I'm not going to give them the breakdown of what the name means, but if you would like to say at least what we do, give them a little taste.
Last week, we said you had a whole spiel on it and everything, and now you're not... viewers, Adam, tag him, get after him.
Don't put this on me. What this means is that Nate lies to our audience. Okay, that's what I'm going to turn that on his head.
So yeah, on the podcast, what we normally do is we talk about movies, and then from those movies, we take a couple topics, and then we do some light research on those topics. This week, you have caught us on the topics that we are very knowledgeable about, and if we were asked on Jeopardy, we would be experts on these topics, right?
Especially this week. Of all the weeks, the topics. Usually it's fireflies, sake. Nate, what two topics are we talking about this week? At least, what's yours?
This week, we are talking about the Statue of Liberty and what it stands for, which Todd has taken over that part.
Well, in a very specific era, this is the 1800s, late 1800s immigration to America. So a pocket in time, a very famous one. So very lighthearted.
It fits, though, because the Statue of Liberty was built in the late 1800s.
Wow, he's already joined. Spoiler alert, he's jumped into side quests. Yeah, the little sneak peek. I did ask you to give him a taste, and you did, so congratulations on meeting that objective.
If you will.
Boosh. Wow. Is this French?
Yeah.
Nate, guys, Nate started Duolingo last week and learned French just so he could help us out on this episode, okay? So he's a master of it now.
Gaslight me.
That's amore. Is that Italian? I don't know.
I think that's Italian.
At least I recognized it. All right. As we sigh at the same time. That's why we're The End is Sigh. Everything ends in a sigh. Life, existence, these topics. My sentence.
Shit. He pulled it back. He explained it.
I did it. Yeah. Nate, usually we start these with meaning out of the meantime. Did you make any meaning out of the meantime? Just kind of anything new?
Yeah, it's pretty mundane life, adulthood of doing some chores here and there. So not really exciting stuff, but, necessities.
Okay, yeah, I guess then technically that's our update for every week. So that is also my update. But because we know that there's more to just our experiences, we kind of go through a American myopic view of this, but I do a famous segment that is, I think it's being reported on by the New York Times, WashPo. It is news for Nate 2 weeks late. So this is where I catch you up on the meantime. Okay.
Yep. You want to play that jingle for this segment?
News for Nate 2 weeks late. Did I have a different jingle last time? I'm going to have to get a sound drop. Can we get any friends that are good at audio? We could have used you guys many episodes ago. Yes, but this is stuff that you may have missed. We're here to catch up with you. Nate sometimes misses this stuff too, so you're with him basically. But maybe let's start at the top, Nate. Did you know, or did you hear that in sad news? A pound of beef is now more expensive than the minimum wage.
That's insane.
Yeah, minimum wage has been the same for 17 years at $7.25. Ground beef, the hamburger helper, or at least at the time that I got this article, is $8.34 a pound. So,
I feel like the article is probably dated. I'm trying to think back. So recently, JBS, a meat processing company here in Colorado.
Swift, is that them?
Yeah, Swift, that delivers all of it and everything. But yeah, JBS is a meat packaging plant that deals with beef, pork. But recently, the beef side of the plant went on strike.
Because, they've got beef with the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted better wages.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much they kind of won the strike, but not really. So they're going to get paid better, but they took everyone's pension away.
Oof.
That's a rough hit.
So the company again breaks even because they just got rid of that cost and just passed it on to another. So it evened out for them, but screwed over. Yeah, there's never.
Even then, though, it's like if
works.
They got more money, who's to say they're not just going to also raise the prices too to match that?
Oh yeah, and we'll get into that. We'll get into how prices can get raised, and then some people just keep getting money from it. But anyhow, before we get to that, in some good news, Hans Zimmer, the person behind the music for some of our most favorite movies ever, right? Twister, Lion King, the original, Gladiator, Matchstick Men, The Dark Knight, Inception, Blade Runner 2049, and The Dunes. This guy, he was at a live show recently with his orchestra, and he stopped, and he was talking to the crowd, and he said, I'm just going to say it, fuck Trump. And so then he got a bunch of cheers, like, this is a goat right here on the good side of history, so... Go in honor of Hans Zimmer. Go download a soundtrack right now and listen to that shit, dude.
I love it. Like all the concerts, everything out there between him doing it to Dropkick Murphys also hating on Trump during their concerts. The Strokes. I've never seen them and I would like to see them. Is Gwar, the crazy just metal band of just all their puppetry,
but they're super woke and they
so
the nastiest shit ever, and they're super cool. Same with obviously this one's not like it's on their fucking name, but Rage Against the Machine, that's who I really want to see in concert. I would love to see them killing in the name of in live. Like I remember one of my friend's brothers went to LA a long time ago, and I just always stuck out. They went and saw Rage in LA at this concert, and I was always so jealous. I was like, that was probably peak just like awesomeness. So anyway, then there was a Sterling K. Brown, Sterling K. Brown, actor. He's been in a number of things. He was in he was in The Bad Predator, but he was still a good part of it. He's in Paradise, the show, my mom's recommendation, as I like to call it. Prolific actor, whatever. He did recently, he went on X or something like that, but made a whole post. And he put out a whole statement where he basically described, in his professional opinion, why online seasons aren't longer, right? We're getting 8 episode seasons. We used to get the full 22 to 24, right? That would take up a whole thing, and why it's so much fewer and far between. And he put a really good point in. So he released this. He said, cable and streamers don't make money on more episodes, but networks do, right? Network is all about advertisers. The more shows you have, the more ads you can run, the more money you make. Premium cable and streamers make their money off subscribers. So it's not about how many shows do you have, it's about how many shows or new shows do you have that make people want to subscribe to your platform. So if they did more episodes, they don't necessarily get new subscribers. But if they come with something that's new and shiny that makes people say, oh, I want to see that, then they build their subscriber base. The only thing that could change it is if fans actually stop subscribing and mandate that these platforms make longer seasons, but I don't think that's going to happen. And it's he laid it out. It's pretty simple to understand when you say they need you to sign up for the recurring. So if a show keeps getting renewed and you don't get new subscribers or it's not somebody's wheelhouse, you don't ever get them to give you money. It's different than ads, even though they do ads now. So.
Before this episode, I told Todd I had something to bitch and gripe about. I couldn't remember what that was.
Oh, yeah.
Him bringing this up reminded me what it was.
Ooh, that's called.
And it's true. It works out because what he says is accurate. Scrubs, the new season that just came out. It's already done.
Holy
It had
crap.
a total of 9 episodes.
After how many decades off the air?
Yeah, how many decades it was off here? Also, all the old seasons were like 20, 22 episodes, except for
That's crazy.
season 7 because of writer's strike.
Yeah.
But also, it's weird because that is a show that is on network TV, but it only did 9 episodes. You look at the math, those are about 20 minutes an episode after commercials,
they were
intro,
still short?
and credits and everything. So you're looking 20 minutes an episode, 9 episodes. That's about 2 hours and 40 minutes or whatever. And
that's a movie.
You're getting all these new characters, but there's no introduction. They're not balancing. You just start to get introduced to them, and you're like, okay, what's going on in the world? Nope, it's the end of the season. Wait another year. It's fucking bullshit.
Oh, see, this. We got Nate riled up, everybody. We've done it. Sound the alarms. We've done it. This is our goal. This is my goal, at least. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that short. And so I didn't realize that when you go from a long format show like that down to the 9, you would think they would be hour-long episodes to make up for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy that they're still the 20, because I know, like, Shrinking, they can vary. It's like 30 minutes, 35. It can vary in there, but they're giving out like 14 episodes or something like that, at least doing a little bit more. So it's weird to see such an established one with all these characters that they don't have to necessarily rewrite from scratch. They've got the setting, everything. They could just roll back into 20. There was plenty of filler episodes on Scrubs because it was fun and lighthearted, and you can get away with a musical episode, like fun takes, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like the short format for that at all.
No, that's a shame. That does suck because you wait, I think it was like almost 20 years, right? And then you have to wait another year. It's like, what are you doing? You should have had so many banks. Don't announce it until you banked some shit at least. But but was it a good 9 episodes?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. And with the new characters that were being introduced, some of their stories were just starting to get going. We're like, okay, I like where this is kind of happening and where it's going, for it to just all of a sudden, all right, that's it. There's no real good wrap up. It's just like, all right, let's put this kind of cliffhanger here, this cliffhanger here, and make it seem like, we're just going to really put everyone on edge.
And they are officially going to do a season 2?
See, that's not even announced, I don't think yet. So who knows?
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Well, we shall wait with bated breath. On other bad news, Trump posted an AI photo of himself as Jesus and then pretended as if he was a doctor. So a lot of people are thinking that somebody said, no, tell the journalist that it was doctored, and he just ran with doctor because he's so fucking dumb.
Like that.
Yeah. And the thing is, usually that would just be like, oh, that's so stupid, huh? That's probably true. Like, that's the worst part, is that the dumbest thing is probably the truest thing. Yeah. He also thinks he's Jesus and deserves that. Like, so he posted intentionally and then fucked up the excuse.
Yeah, wasn't there some kind of hearing or whatever it was where one of the guys, part of the court, was asking RFK Jr. of like, hey, can Trump pass a test and all that? Is he in the right state of mind and everything to be president? And then RFK was just beating around the bush, like not even giving the correct answer. Like, he does his own way in math. Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
Oh, that's right. It was the math thing. I did see a bit of that.
Yeah.
The math, and I wear my jeans in the sauna. The worm's eating my stupid little brain. Yeah, that guy. The thing is, like, usually you don't punch down in comedy. Everybody punched down to RFK. Okay, everybody punched down to him. Yes, there was that. And then, Nate, this bothers me to my core. I think it probably bothers you that Val Kilmer was brought in as an AI slop for a movie. Did you see this?
I did not.
You haven't seen this? Like, he's legit a full AI actor in a movie coming out. They took all of his stuff. They fed it. It's just a fake Val Kilmer in like a legit movie.
That sucks.
It's finally happened. And they did it to a fucking legend.
Yeah.
So
damn.
This is why.
Do you know what movie this is?
Honestly, I was going to write it down, and I purposely went, I'm not going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt to even look this up. To be fair.
Good to know.
So if you want to look it up, Val Kilmer AI. It's going to be the first obviously thing, and it's I think it's like some sort. I think he like was dressed like a preacher. I remember seeing some of like the clips of people talking about it. And it's just this uncanny valley, and these estates that take over these people's images and stuff, and they're just like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever the hell you want. Like, it's all money. But
that's the worst part too, because it tarnishes that person's reputation by putting that out there. The people that maybe don't know who they were originally, but it's just like, yeah, use this guy's image. Sure.
Wow,
whatever,
he's a really
fine.
wooden actor. He doesn't really have a lot of range, does he? It's like, oh my God, this is fucking Doc Holliday.
I just want to know, like, how much did they undercut to where they just didn't want to get a different actor for the role? Like, as sad as it is, everything runs its course, but that's the point in life, is you find something new, someone to fill in those spots rather than going after the deceased.
It's just, there's so many struggling actors. I don't think you needed to do that, right?
No, you don't.
You weren't like running out. You weren't like, oh, we couldn't find anybody. It's kind of like the Kevin O'Leary shit, right? In I forgot his ping pong movie name. Marty Supreme. Like, you didn't need to. There's other actors. But anyway.
Yep.
On to another big money-making circle jerk. So right now, the U.S. companies are getting tariff refunds approved by the government. But we all know that the companies passed all their fucking tariff prices onto us. They even announced it in some purchase you would make. It'd be like, hey, by the way, this is a $10 extra because we have to pay for the tariff to ship it in. I paid that. Mm-hmm. And now they are getting the money. So they got money from us, the consumers, and then now we're paying them again. We're double paying them for a thing that we already paid them for. This is capitalism in a nutshell. We're fucked.
Yeah, it is so bad. Yeah, so pretty much what you're saying is the tariffs that Trump decided were going to be legal, turns out Supreme Court decided, no, they are illegal. And everyone has doubled down to where, we're paying double on everything because it's so fucking stupid is what it is. And nothing's going to happen to where the consumers aren't going to see any of that money whatsoever. Because also originally Trump was saying, hey, with all this tariff, I'm going to be able to get out tariff stimulus checks. That's not going to happen because we're paying back the tariff bullshit to companies now.
Well, and remember, A, completely agree. B, do you remember how this started? The other countries pay the tariffs. His whole entire thing about the tariffs was that the other countries pay the tariff. How is that true if now you're officially approving that American companies get money back for paying the tariffs? Again, the lies don't matter. They just keep saying different things and then just doing whatever they want. It's not even lying anymore. It's just saying stuff and moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, and the worst part is the people that buy into this shit. They're like, oh, no, it's okay. It's fine. It's, it's all part of the plan. And it's like, you realize you're getting screwed over and you're just letting it go by because you're so fucking blind.
Goddamn cult. It's a goddamn cult. Speaking of cults and dumb people. So, Nate, you know how I used to have a running through line where Gen Z are the scourge of the earth and I don't give them any respect? Yeah. Well, it's not always forced, Nate. Because these little fuckers, I tell you, they just double down on their dipshittery. So, according to a very big survey, almost a third of Gen Z men, can we even call them men at this point? Those born between 1997 and 2012 believe a wife should obey her husband. They're becoming one of the most conservative generations, according to this. So, the first react to that. Does that surprise you? It should.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does.
So the survey was done by Ipsos and the Global Institute for Women's Leadership at King's College London, and it was released for this year's International Women's Day. And they were like, guess what? There was like, and I should have written down the number, but there were so many people that got the survey. It wasn't like 100 people or something. Like, this was thousands of people. And it found, like, across the board, like in different regions and stuff like that, that 1/3 of all of them, these men are just like, yep, women are subservient type thing. And that's their views. And so I want a formal apology.
Well, I definitely don't got one for you. Luckily, I'm not a Gen Z.
No, I'm saying because you yelled at me for always shitting on Gen Z.
Yeah, for the ones that feel that they're superior to females.
Yep.
Fuck you guys, and I apologize on their behalf because they never will.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, I wasn't looking for them to apologize. I'm looking for you, because I know, I was cutting our audience down. I was cutting a third of our audience away, I think. All these Gen Zers listening to us. No, I don't
sorry.
need an apology.
Was that a clip from another episode that you just put in? Weird.
Sounded like some beta male bullshit in Gen Z, I tell you. Papa? All right, let's see. Moving on to the next.
Is that going to be your thing? Just every now and then. Papa?
Papa? That's a callback to Fievel. My boy. So next piece of news, 2 weeks late, is this is the good news, Nate. Maine passes the nation's first statewide moratorium on AI data center construction. They can't build anything until November of 2027. And Governor Mills there in Maine is set to sign it. I think she's kind of on the fence, but the fact that even their group, their leaders are like, hey, this is what needs to happen. A lot of town halls are pushing back on data centers. A lot of them are getting stopped. I just saw a video today before we started recording that somebody that got elected is now being voted on to be recalled. They just got elected. They're going to get removed because they went ahead with a data center plan, even though they didn't let the community weigh in. So there's become a lot of backlash on these centers.
People are just trying to do what Trump did. We're just going to build it and deal with the consequences later, right? We're just going to pass on the tariffs and build the consequences later.
Yep. That's the playbook, baby. But again, there's other pushback. So the homes of AI leaders are being targeted with Molotov cocktails. There's been, I think, a couple times that's happened. And I think we're getting to a point in American society where it's been complacent for so long, and because the minimum wage has stayed there, and we're getting screwed over on prices, and there's billionaires just fleecing, and there's no capitalism is not trickling down, right? Reaganomics never worked; they never were going to work, and here we are. And so that people are starting to get mad. And did you see that worker that is in jail now, but that set that toilet paper warehouse on fire, cost all that money, and what he said on video? He said, all you had to do was pay us enough to live. And that's like, ooh, chef's kiss. Like, burn all the toilet paper. I don't give a shit. That's a pun. Is that a pun? I don't know.
Yeah. We always go through and just say the same shit over and over again. But there's no reason for billionaires to make as much money as they do. They can still live a good life. It's just they just want to keep earning money because they think it just gives them power, and that's what they're going for. Is they just want power, because once you earn so much money, there's nothing left to do besides earning power, and they think that's the answer to their happiness all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's real, and it's sad because it's real. And the idea, like, you always in comment sections, you always get the little bootlickers, and I love when people just rail on the bootlickers in the comments of anything, where they go, well, I just saw one again today. I've saw a lot of stuff, guys, 2 weeks ago in the past review, that they basically were saying, this CEO makes, I think it was like 19 million or something like that with bonus, and not including bonus and stuff like that. They're like, this person deserves to get that because they're making decisions for a company that makes X, Y, and Z amount of dollar and stuff. I'm like, no, dude. No CEO is worth millions. Not what they do on a daily basis is be catered to by a bunch of executive assistants and shit. They're not making these decisions. They're just a figurehead. They're getting paid millions of dollars, something that people are dying on the street, and they're making billions, because we're talking about billionaires as well, even just the millionaires, but they're making all this money to do nothing. It's like, well, they deserve the money they make. No billionaire deserves $1 billion. No one, you can't do anything to earn $1 billion. That was not all legal or moral, right? You had to compromise multiple areas at some point.
Yeah.
Sorry to end on that, but I will end on one that Nate, you tell me if this will be relevant in, like, I don't know, another episode, but emperor penguins are considered endangered species due to the losing ice epidemic with climate change.
That's sad and relevant somewhat.
Okay. Tease.
He's teasing. He's a
I saw that
tease,
news and I
everybody.
Yeah, I went, Nate, better hear this one. So sorry about that, 2 weeks late, but there was some sprinkling of decent stuff in there. I mean,
Sprinkles doesn't outweigh
a drizzle and oozing.
all the other bullshit.
It eked out, yeah. All right, well, on to more, I don't know, broader topics that aren't so specifically focused on billionaires, but are, I don't know, mine's more or less kind of in the it's just more factual based. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty too much of it, but into the side quests.
Yep. I will start off, I guess, since you just gave a lot of news about 2 weeks.
I got to drink my bubbly now.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's my strawberry sunset bubbly. I was doing a lot of LaCroix, okay? But it's very carbonated. So like I can't just like open it and I'm like, I want some water, right? But I'm too much of a puss to just drink plain water. I need a little flavor in my life. So the LaCroix, this is my side quest right now, is too carbonated. So I open it and I'm like, I try to take a drink or like, whatever, and I'm like, oh, it stings the throat. I know carbonation's not supposed to sting the throat. I tried to swallow some pills the other morning, and I just cracked a fresh LaCroix, and I swallowed so goddamn hard that for the next 2 days, my throat felt like it was a sore throat, but it was just because I'd strained the muscles from swallowing pills. And this was with water. So there's issues in my life, guys. It's first world. But now bubbly is still good, but it doesn't have that sting. So bubbly. Sponsoring the Into the Sigh podcast.
I was getting ready to say, people are going to think we're sponsored by fucking Bubbly with that rant. You're like, let me shit on another company and also get some sponsorship in there for Bubbly.
I mean, I still like LaCroix. I enjoy it. I don't like all the flavors. I like their... Guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fuck whatever.
Well, now it doesn't. Now we're definitely not getting that sponsorship from Bubbly because they're going to be like, oh, fuck, he went back to them. Never mind.
No, this is where the water companies compete for my love. Okay? Swoon me. Send me a pallet of your best flavors. Not that pamplemousse bullshit. I don't want your grapefruit knockoff shit. Nate, please teach us about your side quest.
All right. Yeah, so my side quest is the Statue of Liberty. A lot of information I got was from statueoflibertytour.com.
Ooh,
and then a little bit of side research through Wikipedia and other outlets like
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Duh, fuck that. All right.
Nate turned off the pod
today.
Oh no.
All right. So the seed of the Statue of Liberty was planted in 1865 by Edouard de la Boulaye, a French jurist, poet, author, and anti-slavery activist. It would be a gift to the United States from France for the Union's win in the Civil War. He hoped that showing support for the U.S., it would strengthen the fight for democracy in France.
Okay, and this is where your French lessons just came into play. Because you said that guy's name perfectly. I will say, joking aside, this is a legit thought I had when you said the seed was planted. I was like, oh, this is, and then you went to the Statue of Liberty. I was like, oh, I thought you were talking about like some tree at first. What if they planted like a cool ass tree in the bottom of the Statue of Liberty and it grew up through it, like you just hollowed it out and you had like branches and leaves coming out of different parts? That would look like. They don't do that in dystopian movies. It's always like on its side and broken. Like have shit growing.
That would be cool. Yeah. Honestly, something popping out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Right. I didn't really add to that. I just, just imagining.
Yeah. In 1870, I'm probably going to change his name throughout of not, properly pronouncing it. La Boulaye met with Auguste Bartholdi, a French sculptor. Bartholdi created the first concept for Lady Liberty. He chose a lady in robes striding over broken chains. In her right hand was a torch to represent progress, and in her left was a tablet had the date of decoration. On that tablet was inscribed with July IV space MDCCLXXVI. Do you know that date, Todd, through those Roman numerals?
July 4th, 1776?
Yeah, you do.
I know my history, baby. But she's not walking on chains, as far as I'm aware. Did they take the chains part out of it?
I'm wondering if I should have looked up a little bit more of this. I wonder if it's on the pedestal or something like that she's standing on.
But I've seen the pedestal. Like, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember ever seeing chains. Like, I've never, even like in media when they recreate.
Well, this was the concept. So who knows?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if they just were like, fuck the chains. We'll have her like at the tablet with our Independence Day and everything is cool enough, right?
Yeah. So in September 1875, the Franco-American Union was created to oversee the fundraising for the statue. It was agreed that the French would fund this and supply the statue, while the United States would fund the pedestal, which would be located on Bedloe's Island in New York.
And this was teased last week, that it's not Ellis that we were all thinking, or all. Most people, I feel like, lean to just like, that's the one you hear in media again. But, okay, so Bedloe's. Is that, do you know if that's named after? Did you get into any of that? Like, who it's named after? Just that?
I didn't look up too much of that because I also thought, I was like, oh, Ellis Island, right? That's where it's at. No, it's Bedloe's Island. Well, yeah, I was wrong.
So we have to admit our fault sometimes. The Liberty should have been hollowed out. That's the fault they had.
From 1876 to 1878, pieces were starting to form. In May 1876, her right hand and torch were on display at the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. Visitors were able to go up on the balcony of the torch. The arm was later moved to Madison Square Park in 1877. Was then sent back to France in 1882.
Whoa.
And then the head and shoulder were in 1878 on display at the Paris Universal Exposition World's Fair.
They kind of hoard out the Statue of Liberty there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You check this out.
1800s to think about it. It's like, hey, we're going to ship this all the way over to the United States, put on display.
In a few months. Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to ship it back to France so we can complete the rest of it using that piece to make sure it all fits properly.
This is classic. Cut once, measure twice. You didn't do that. You were like, let's send it back to France. Figure that part out, then take it on its tour, and then assemble it in Bedloe's Island.
Yeah. I get it, though. Maybe it was like hey, this will help hopefully push for fundraising or anything like that to help raise the money.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, it was a gift. Why would we have to raise? For the pedestal, you think?
Yeah, for the pedestal.
Its pedestal's big, but Jesus. Man, we are cheap as shit. I wonder, I like to imagine there was a Mr. Bean scenario where the one of the pieces that had to go back to France was like at a tour and somebody like bumped into it and it just toppled everything and they're like, oh no, and they had to then that person just kind of sidles out of the room and then they have to send it back for fixes.
Yeah.
This is my American history.
In 1879, Eugene Viollet-le-Duc, the statue's engineer, dies before completing the structure for the inside. Bartholdi hired Gustave Eiffel to complete the project. Yeah, the same guy that designed the Eiffel Tower.
I would hope so.
His 98-foot inner framework included iron truss tower to support the height and weight of the statue and 2 spiral staircases for visitors to reach the observation point in the crown. The arm was too narrow for a spiral staircase, so access to the torch platform was done by a ladder.
I've never been in it. Can you still tour in it? Is that a thing that's still?
Yes. So that's where I looked up. I was like, oh, is there an elevator or anything like that? So there's an elevator in the pedestal part, but the actual Statue of Liberty, you still have to go up the actual spiral staircase to go up to the observation deck.
And the thing is, I remember when I was there, I think we probably didn't do it because there's so many times you can do it and you have to sign up for this tour way in advance. You have to pay this fee to do it way in advance. And there's so much, you don't just get to show up and do everything. There's even some places you don't just get to go tour. The ferry only goes to certain places in there and doesn't take you to all of them. There's that place where, I don't know, where you basically, there was it used to be the registration offices. You get to see that island and it's beautiful. But then it's like, all right, we're pulling back out to go. This group gets to go check it out because they paid more. There's all these stipulations. We have monetized, again, the freedom statue. But.
Right. From 1881 to 1886, the pedestal was being constructed. In 1881, Richard Morris, an American architect, was chosen to design the pedestal. His original idea for the pedestal was to be 114 feet tall, but was forced to reduce it down to 59 feet due to financial issues.
Again.
Yeah.
But this was a goddamn gift.
The birth of this pedestal was expected to take 9 months. In 1882, fundraising began. One poem named The New Colossus was donated by Emma Lazarus during the time she was helping refugees in New York who had fled anti-Semitic pogroms from Eastern Europe. She wrote this poem to express her empathy for the refugees in terms that applied to the statue. In 1884, the statue is complete, but the funds diminished for the pedestal. Other cities such as Boston and Philadelphia offered to pay full price to relocate the statue. In 1885, the famed publisher Joseph Pulitzer jumped in to help fund the pedestal. He promised to print every name of every person that donated. No matter how big or small the donation, he would print the donation in his newspaper, The New York World. He raised over $100,000. Work on the pedestal resumed, and the statue was shipped in crates. The pedestal was not yet complete, and the statue sat in crates for over a year.
It's depressing to think that the Statue of Liberty was crowdsourced, like a goddamn GoFundMe campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, so even if I flicked a penny at him, he'd put my name on there. But again, we talked about that might be the minimum wage, right? So that's probably pretty good.
1800s, so that's a lot of money that was raised. But it's also crazy to think like Boston and Philadelphia were like offering to pay the funds and have it completely relocated.
I mean, let's be honest, they're the most American of American cities, right? That's the red, white, blue, they bleed that shit. So that doesn't surprise me, but it is crazy that it almost could have lived in one of those places. To not have it against like the big sea line, would have sucked. I mean, we wouldn't know that we're missing that, but I think it's iconic where it is now. Just from
on Bedloe
having
Island.
Its own island. Yeah. Yes. Call back the name. Yes. Ellis, right? No. Bedloe. Great. Perfect.
The statue was completed on October 28th, 1886. An official unveiling and dedication ceremony took place on Bedloe Island. During this ceremony, most of the people were exclusively men.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah,
shocking,
which is funny because it's Lady Liberty.
It is Lady Liberty.
One of the people that worked on it or like had the poem and all that made for it was a lady. It's just like, it's just ridiculous.
Classic America. And I like, this is not to undercut that, but I think at one point, instead of unveiling, you said unveiling, and I think you were caught in French world. So
thanks.
He's unveiling it. I was like, this is his Duolingo coming in.
Yeah, thanks for making me sound better than what I am.
Yep.
It's been created, and then I have a couple things after it was created. So in 1906, the green patina would eventually cover the entire statue from oxidization. So Statue of Liberty was all copper at once, and then the oxidation took over, so now that's why it's its green hue.
So when we watched An American Tail, and it was like, it looks gold and shiny, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So that was accurate for history. That's pretty cool. Okay.
July 30th, 1916, World War II, the statue suffered minor damage to the right arm. This closed off the torch balcony ever since. So at one point, people were able to climb that ladder, go up to the torch balcony, and enjoy it. But ever since then, it's been shut down.
Yeah, now it's just, Ghostbusters and X-Men that get to go up there.
Yep. Now, this is the one that you're really clamoring for, Todd.
Oh, clamor.
Bedloe Island was renamed in 1956.
Oh, no.
To you know what?
Ellis.
Liberty Island. That is correct, Todd. Liberty Island.
He teed me up. He fucked me, guys. I wasn't going to curse that much in this episode, but he fucked me.
So yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is where Ellis Island came in.
This
nope,
is why.
Still Liberty.
Is that just another name for it?
No, it's a separate thing. There's Liberty Island and Ellis Island.
I need a map.
Trust me, I'm still confused by it and I don't believe it. All right.
Okay,
so
I mean,
I got two more things after this. September 11th, 2001. Liberty Island is closed.
Yep. Okay. Never forget.
Yep. On December 1st, 2001, Liberty Island is opened, but the statue remains closed.
Because it was such a target, they would assume?
Yeah. August 3rd, 2004, the inside of the pedestal opens. Not until July 4th, 2009, the Crown observation reopens to the public. So almost 8 years later, they finally opened the Crown to the public.
Is that just laziness? Like, why? There was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's insane, though, like an 8-year gap.
Yeah, it's not like in 2006 we were like, oh, I think there might be terrorists going into the Statue of Liberty itself. No one can go in there with them. Like, we're really still that terrified? Wow.
Yeah. And then the last thing, back then, it cost $250,000 to be built. Today, it would cost over $8 million.
Which, again, we have billionaires, so...
Yeah, it's
nothing.
Crazy because that's nothing to them.
Don't give them any ideas because they will now bid to take it off Liberty Island and then move it to fucking bumfuck nowhere. Who knows? I don't know. We'll move it on top of NORAD or something. Yeah. Yeah. It would be their personal like water slide. Not a bad idea, granted, but can't give me diminishing Lady Liberty to a water slide where people piss down the pool. Like, come on.
Freedom.
All right, well, good. For freedom, as they're just pissing everywhere. No, I liked it. Thank you, Nate, for the side quest. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm learning affirmations.
Now you're going to bring us a lot of joy with your side quest?
You know, my facts aren't actually like just depressing. They're just kind of what we saw in An American Tale, like just like kind of the logistics of immigration to America in the 1800s. So yeah, that's what I'm going to dive into. Nothing. Hopefully, I mean, everything is weaved with this kind of, immigration's not a happy story, or it used to be. Let's say that, right? It used to be a really happy, good thing. There are no cats in America, et cetera, right? And now it's met with all this modern bullshit. But even then, back then, there was highs and lows to it. So we're going to start with, I think, a pretty good authority on the topic, that is the Library of Congress. And they state that 12 million immigrants arrived in the United States between 1870 and 1900. So 30 years, 12 million people show up. During the 1870s and 1880s, the vast majority of these people were from Germany, Ireland, and England, the principal sources of immigration before the Civil War. So that's kind of the general makeup of that time, was a lot of Europe.
Yeah.
And before that, a relatively large group of Chinese immigrated to the United States between the start of the California Gold Rush in 1849 through 1882. So right before this big influx happened, but then the federal law stopped their immigration. And this led to a bunch of, hate crimes and discrimination. And like, they realized it was like, oh, we can be here, but, Chinese people can't. And it's just, you get a bunch of dudes in the same room, right? And it becomes a problem. But to overlap into your area here, more than 70% of all immigrants entered through New York City, which came to be known as the Golden Door. I've never heard it called that before.
I wonder if that's because Lady, oh my god.
Lady Labia? Wow, Nate. This is, I know we're using real terms here, but my god. Do you see the toes on her?
Of Liberty.
Yes.
Was copper and almost that gold hue.
Yeah, in the sun it looked gold. Yes, it could be. I mean, that's the only thing I could really assume, right? Because I don't think the concept of like a golden ticket from like Willy Wonka existed, right? It wasn't like the golden opportunity. It could be a play on that, but throughout the late 1800s, most immigrants arriving in New York entered at the Castle Garden Depot near the tip of Manhattan. In 1892, the federal government opened a new immigration processing center on where?
On Ellis Island?
You know it, in New York Harbor. So that's where the immigration offices were. It's on the mainland in the harbor there. However, there were never enough jobs, and employers often took advantage of the immigrants. Warranty rat/cats, if you will. Oh, that's a spoiler from Warranty rat. Men were generally paid less than other workers that immigrated, and women less than men. So women got shit on twice. They were paid. So the men immigrated were paid less than American men, and then the women were even paid less than that. It's just, come on.
They're all doing the same job.
Well, women are still underpaid. Not to get into modern stuff, but isn't it like 7 cents to the dollar, or like to the 10, right? Like, so 70 cents to the dollar is what I think I feel like that used to be the average.
I don't know the logistics. All I know is it's wrong.
Yes, it is. Yes. I did come across a picture, and this was from T.H. Nast, and this was published in 1882, and it's a picture of two men at a bar, and the title is "Which Color is to be Tabooed Next?" And basically it says Fritz is talking to Pat and quoted, "If the Yankee Congress can keep the yellow man out, what is to hinder them from calling us green and keeping us out too?" And so this was saying, like, they already didn't let Chinese people in. What about Irish people? They treat the same way. Again, it's all racism across the board. But I was like, this is a comic, or at least an image saying, like, this is bad. But it's also using two Irishmen at a bar drinking beer and its depiction of them. So it's like they did the internalized racism in their own thing where they were trying to be. But I mean, even then, to that point, it was still kind of woke for its time to have this be the thing. Like, how are you discriminating against us?
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a detour.
Yeah, no, it's pretty shitty though. Just once again, like everyone knows, we're a country built on immigration.
Yeah, we would be nowhere without slaves and immigration. And the slave part is not to say, thank God we did that. It's to say our land was literally built on the back of people that were not didn't want to be here, were forced to be here and be immigrants. We forced them to immigrate here, right? So it's like, yeah, none of this exists. None of these billionaires fucking exist without everything that they exploited at the very beginning of, But anyway. Hopefully, I think the people that listen to our podcast know that. If you're new and you're Gen Z, go fuck yourself. But also listen for facts. Okay. Back onto it, Nate. So, in the movie, they take the big ship trip. And this is obviously a big part of immigration in that time. So, I got information from shiphistory.org. Pretty legit, if you ask me. They say that what records do exist, because, some are lost and some are having to be translated, whatever. These records suggest that the mortality rate for the young and old for overseas travel could reach as high as 10%. In the 1850s, William Inman of the Liverpool-based Inman Line created a new steerage class that provided for better living conditions and briefer travel. And then by the late 19th century, separate steerage, dining, and sanitary facilities were common, as well as lounges and semi-private cabins. So I was like, okay, so 10% is horrible. That's a whole lot of people. You're talking about 12 million in 30 years. 10% dying on every boat ride is significant, obviously. And these are people just trying to escape one horror to get to something better and having to endure this.
Damn.
It says by 18... What's that?
Do you think, like, they just threw the bodies overboard? Just kept them on?
I mean, for reducing the spread of potential illness, depending on how early on it was, maybe, or you're wrapping them pretty good and salt. I think there's like salting and stuff that happens. I honestly, obviously, my research ain't gonna do that. But if I was to guess, some instances, yes. But obviously, they're traveling with families and stuff too, so you're probably not just doing that if families are there. It depends on if somebody's alone and they die. I imagine the crew could potentially do that, but I think for the most part, these crews, and again, I'm saying this, and at the same time, I'm thinking, are they really? But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and think that these crews were actually quite helpful and wanted them to succeed. I know it's a business for them too, at the end of the day, right? So who knows? But dumping bodies overboard and doing that, then less people would probably try to immigrate if you knew that the steamship people were just as bad as slave traders or whatever, right? So I don't know. I can't really speak to that, but. Back to it. By 1870, more than 90% of immigrants arriving to America came on steamships. The steamship shortened the length of a voyage from a minimum of 5 or 6 weeks to sea at sea to less than 2 weeks. That's a huge improvement.
Damn. Yeah, that's
2 weeks.
Over half. That's being cut off.
That's huge. I mean, it was a month and a half to 2 weeks for a fucking fortnight. That's pretty good.
Yeah, cut it down to a third of the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, huge improvement of these steamships, and that's what was portrayed in the movie with steamships. And so it says, this obviously caused a decrease in variability of arrival time. So you would never know when people would show up if it's a month, give or take, right? Or a month and a half, give or take. It says both of these factors reduced mortality of passengers. The shorter trip time also changed the nature of immigration itself. So it says, in the early days of immigration, immigrants were often transported in former slave ships. So, callback. Like slaves before them, immigrants were crowded into dark holds, often 6 to 10 people in bunks 10 feet wide, 5 feet long, and 3 feet high.
Jeez.
Can you imagine the claustrophobia and...
The 3 feet high is rough.
That's, yeah. How...
That's...
I've got a bit of... Ladies, don't listen. Turn off the pot, hot ladies. But I've got a bit of like a belly going on from, I need to work out a little bit more. How big is my belly sit up? Like, what is my width? Like if I'm laying in a bunk. Is my belly touching the top?
No, it's not touching the top. 3 feet
What do you think I am, like 1 foot?
3 feet
I'm
is
probably like at least 1 foot
half of my height.
Oh, I'm thinking, no, I'm thinking correct. Am
so
I vibing
you would
with,
come up
with
to my
feet?
waist is what you're saying. You do not come up to my waist.
I mean, okay, let me put on some more pounds and then we'll see. But I think I'm good right now. I'm not that, guys. Should I cut this out? I'm making myself sound like really, like, I mean,
no,
it's
you're
fine.
not. You're really like pushing the limitations of what you think.
I'm just trying to picture, like, if I don't know. I'm trying to, like, guys, don't ask me for advice on vibing with weight or miles, okay? I don't know what it is.
Don't ask him about size.
Hey, no. Mom, turn off the pot. Ladies, you can ask me all day. I tell you, I am 3 feet in that direction. You know what I'm saying? As I pass out with every erection. All right. So, Mom, turn the pot back on. I don't know if you heard that part. Okay, let's see. So, back to immigration on slave ships, Nathaniel. So, 3 feet high. It was here that immigrants spent the 40 days or the 2 or 3 months, depending on the winds and tides. Diseases like cholera, dysentery, yellow fever, smallpox, and typhus were rampant. So, the same shit you got on the goddamn Oregon Trail.
Except for you're on water.
You can't go anywhere, and you're stuck with hundreds of other people. Yeah. Oh, man. The thing's like, we have it so easy when you think about like trials and tribulations or being on a cramped bus or something. I took a Greyhound once from Greeley, Colorado to Bernie, Texas. That was the longest trip of my goddamn life. It was, but I did it. I'm a tough guy, right? And dude, that's not even a cakewalk. That's just nothing. That's a passing. Did you hear somebody? Did you hear Papa? Like 20 miles away? That's what that was to anybody that had to be on a fucking slave ship. Jesus Christ. On an immigration slave ship. Sorry, not the slave ships, immigrants on a slave ship. Let me be clear. We'll not compare anything to slavery.
You think it's almost like why they didn't make a game on, like they made a game on the Oregon Trail because there's a chance of survival. Where this is like, oh no, there's hardly a chance of survival at all.
It's just called the Atlantic Ocean. Oh. I don't think that would have that wouldn't have flown. Because you would still. I mean, it would just be as brutal as the Oregon Trail. You have just died of dysentery. Like it's just like that's the facts. They didn't pull punches in that game, and I don't think that game would either. This fake game we've created in our head. Next source, Europeana. So it's like Europe with an A-N-A at the end. I don't know how to pronounce that, but they say that after the long and grueling ocean voyage, most immigrants to the United States in the late 18th and early part of the 19th century made their way to rural areas to farm. Most immigrants in the mid-19th century remained in the ports where they had arrived, except for those with the financial means for further travel. The American government had no arrangements in place for assisting immigrants acclimatize to their new country. The newcomers, after passing a medical examination and demonstrating their ability to support themselves, walked onto the docks where some were met by family or friends, while others were left to fend for themselves. You're literally just in a new continent. You walk off the dock and you're like, now walk somewhere. Now go.
Yeah.
Go live.
There's
Terrifying.
No GPS. There's no maps.
No.
There's no information. You have to go around, ask random people, and hope that out of the good of their heart, they'll help you out.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, but like, the thing is, like, Nate, let's put you even in modern times. Modern times. Tomorrow, Nate, you don't have friends or family or anything that you know. You just step onto, let's just do Europe. I don't know. And you step onto Italy, and you're like, just survive. What do you like? What was your first step? Right? No, you can't. You're stuck there. You don't know the language. You've never been there. You have $5 in your pocket. You don't have a home. You have all the modern conveniences, right? There are smartphones. This all exists. How do you do that? It's even tough to do that now.
It's the same as those millionaires that are like, it's easy. I could do it all over again, and then they try it and they're like, oh, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm going back to being a millionaire. Fuck this.
Was like what was that show? Joe Millionaire.
I don't know the show.
This was like early reality show where he's a millionaire, but all the women just thought he was a normal, like, Joe Schmo, John Doe type of guy. And then at the end, he's like, by the way, I'm a millionaire. Get on my private jet. Guys, this is not an analogy for everything we just said. I just called back Joe Millionaire for no reason. But how can I tie this to your story of millionaires not being able to do it and you getting off onto a new country? I can't. Okay, we're moving on to the next topic.
You mean
so? Yeah,
the millionaires are in their own whole level of game where they can buy their own slaves? Weird.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. If you show up in Italy with nothing, but you have $1 billion, yeah, you're living. You can do whatever the hell you want. You'd have no problem finding accommodation and friends, right? So you get there with no money and family, you're just as fucked. But imagine this back then with disease and even more hardship and racial tensions and yeah. Anywho, anywho'd fucking real history. Sorry about that. Okay, so next up, the New York Public Library. So the legend goes that officials at Ellis Island, unfamiliar with the many languages and nationalities of the people arriving, would change the names of those immigrants that sounded foreign or unusual. Now, remember I teased this. Now, did they actually change names? This is something everybody just assumes is true, and I assumed was true. American Tail does a whole call. Your call off was them changing a name, right? It says, I'm sorry, you did a, like you were going to jump in, so I want to make sure Nate's voice is heard here.
I just said, okay, Mr. Smith. That's all I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Papa. All right, so they now, so the New York Public Library, being a library, used a book as reference. So Vincent J. Canato's excellent book, they say, American Passage, The History of Ellis Island, explained why this did not happen. It says, nearly all name change stories are false. Names were not changed at Ellis Island. The proof is found when one considers that inspectors never wrote down the names of incoming immigrants. When immigrants reached the end of the line in the Great Hall, they stood before an immigration clerk with a huge manifest open in front of them. The clerk then proceeded, usually through interpreters, to ask questions based on those found in the manifests. Inspectors did not create records of immigration. Rather, they checked the names of the people moving through Ellis Island against those recorded in the ship's passenger list or manifest. The ship's manifest was created by employees of the steamship companies that brought the immigrants to the United States before the voyage took place, when the passengers first bought their ticket. It says the manifest was presented to the officials at Ellis Island when the ship arrived. If anything, Ellis Island officials were known to correct mistakes in passenger lists. So it's like that ultimately has been, then there's multiple articles that also back this same thing up, and they say that, it has happened before, but it says someone might change their name in order to make it sound more American, to fit in with the local community, or simply because it was good for business. There is at least one instance of a small businessman arriving in the United States from Eastern Europe changing his name, at least his public name, to something that sounded Swedish because he had settled in a Swedish neighborhood in New York City. So I was like, that's interesting. And they even do like an official reply of somebody asking about this. It says, on making the application for final papers, you should spell your name as in the original application. You have the right to change the spelling without a court process. And so that's like, they're like, even like official replies from the immigration was like, this is the way you should do it. Like they weren't trying to whitewash names and be like, nah, you're John Smith now. That sounds like the easier thing, writing cruel, but these people doing the intake were just trying to help them do it the right way and like keep that stuff. So if anybody changed it, it was a personal reason. So I thought that was neat.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool, especially if like, just trying to fit in or help whatever business you're going to start too.
Yep. So I'll finish with Pew Research Center, and they did analysis on a bureau in 2025. This is just updated stats on some immigration just to round us out from this. And it says that at the time in 2025, 51.9 million immigrants live in the United States. So it's a hell of a big number of people that came from elsewhere. What year was that again? 2025.
Okay.
Basically 52 million. 15.4% of all U.S. residents were immigrants, down from a recent historic high of 15.8. So 0.4 difference in there. But that's still a significant number of a community, right? We are the melting pot. 19% of the U.S. labor force were immigrants, down from 20%, and by over 750,000 workers since January in that time. Obviously, we know 2025 and stuff and everything has brought a lot of decrease in workers and, again, the lifeblood of a lot of these industries that tough Americans will not see themselves doing the job of, but are still mad when they took our jobs, right? They weren't going to do that fucking job anyway, you lazy piece of shit. But anyway, and then it goes on like policies have changed and Trump has ruined shit, obviously. But that I just like, okay, these are some updated numbers for you to round it out. But that is immigration in the 1800s to America.
It's crazy of like just the hardships they've gone through, and then we've digressed to some of those hardships again, in a sense.
Yeah, where history, again, tends to repeat itself. But sometimes it does it when it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
We shouldn't need to do any of this stuff, but anyway. Well, see, that wasn't as dour as you could like. It was a lot of just information. So we've gotten pretty dark in this podcast, if anybody is new to this, but this was not necessarily. This one rode the line of fact and reality. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I guess moves on to your famous segment. What's in, what's out?
For this one, I think, let me just put it this way. My left hand's in, my left hand's out. I put my right hand in, I take my right hand out. I do the hokey pokey, and that's my ins and outs. That's it, baby! That's my ins and outs. I don't have them for this week, so I just did the hokey pokey for you. We're skipping that segment, but I still had to call it out. Come on, that was decent.
Damn it.
Decent.
Fuck.
He doesn't like that he liked it. All right. But in forward-thinking news, Nate, what are we doing next week when we go to review our next movie in animation with M-A-Y, Shin Month?
It's one that Todd's been clamoring to see, and he's finally got an excuse to watch it. Hang 10, everyone. We're going to watch Surf's Up.
Dude, I am so upset by this pick. I don't think the audience understands. I have never in my life cared one bit to watch this movie, and I've actively avoided it because it's so low on my care for anything list. And he's like Surf's Up, and I was baffled. Sometimes I think he's taking the piss out. He's making a joke. He's teasing me. No, it Surf's Up. So I will either be raging next time you hear me on this, or I will be pleasantly surprised. We shall find out.
Guys, get ready for the biggest gotcha of 2026.
Jesus. Surf's Up, indeed. I was like, I could picture the cover. This goddamn emperor penguin. Okay. Yes, but it is animation. It's Nate's pick. It falls into it. We're going to do it, baby. So yeah, tune in for that. But before they tune into that, Nate, can you give them some recommendations they could try out right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive deeper into the ocean. where the penguins swim. This week I'm going to recommend Kelp. It's a 2-player game, 1v1. It's created by Carl Robinson and art done by Weberson Santiago. And pretty much one person plays a shark, the other person plays an octopus. The shark is hunting the octopus while the octopus is hiding in the kelp trying to gather food and escape. It's a very nice, like, almost battleship-esque game where the octopus is hiding throughout the game and you don't know where they're hiding, and the shark's going over trying to knock their tokens are to figure out where they are, where the octopus can re-hide those tokens. And yes, Todd and I have played this before.
Fuck. Damn it. I'm like, this sounds really familiar, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen this premise or like seen the art, and I could not remember if I played this. Did I win?
No.
Okay.
You did not win.
That's rare. That's rare. As I'm learning about it for the first time again, I was like, that sounds pretty, and it sounds like it's a cool concept. I really do enjoy that concept. I love anything to do with kind of like that sea and fawn and stuff. Just the idea, like, it's called kelp, so it sounds boring as hell, but you can't call it shark versus octopus, then it becomes like some pulpy,
Yeah, it's like shit. On the box, there's a small little thing above it, shark versus octopus, and then the big words are just kelp.
Does it really say that?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Great recommendation.
Yeah. What do you got this week?
And I swear it's good. I remember playing it now. I have another music recommendation, and I remember posting this to my very famous Instagram account. Everything I do is famous, guys. I don't think you understand. But it's a band called Wolfie's Just Fine. And the artist is John Lajoie. It's Lajoie, and he's a comedian actor. He was in The League. He's a stand-up, but he also is a songwriter performer. And he does songs based on his like nostalgia for movies. So one of them is called "Staying with the Bomb." That's a scene from Die Hard 3. He does a song called "Pigeon Lady." That's the famous Pigeon Lady from Home Alone 2. And then he does one, Mortal Kombat 3. That's from Mortal Kombat 3. But they are earworms. They will stick in your head. They're so good. And Staying with the Bomb and Pigeon Lady especially, are very serious songs about the reality of, like, you were here. How old are you now? The only people I know are here in this park, and I'll probably, this is where I'll leave, but I still have the dove in my pocket. It's all these movies. It's like, if you know the movies, you're like, oh, that's such a cool reference to all the things we know, but it's like, what is the reality of the situation? And Staying with the Bomb. Nate, have you ever seen Die Hard 3?
Nope, I have not.
Oh, how do I talk about this?
Continue on. It's too late for me.
There's a scene about Die Hard 3 is about a lot of bombs in New York City. It's very clever, all this stuff. One of them, there's a guy, a bomb diffuser in a school. And it's a scene in the movie. It's not like it carries through the whole movie and this character. You see him through this one kind of set piece, and it's about his experience and being like, I'm staying with the bomb. Like, if I could leave, but that would be disastrous for these kids, I'm going to stay here and try to defuse this anyway. And it's so cool to have reference from the movies. And Mortal Kombat 3 is just like, remember when you beat me at Mortal Kombat 3 and they played in the arcade? Guys, you won't regret it. Wolfie's Just Fine.
Nice. No, I always enjoy when songs are very laid out and they're like, no, this is about just this person. This isn't like there's a more in-depth meeting.
Right.
It's just more in-depth story about this person.
Yeah. It almost feels like a sequel to some of these things where you get little
nice.
Like background information on these characters that you didn't get finished, with. But so, yeah, I think you would have really appreciated Nathaniel. Yeah.
All right.
Well, while they're listening to music and playing Kelp, Nate, how can they find us?
They can find us by, just looking around the house, under the cushions.
Somewhere out there. If you guys sing to the moon, I promise Nate and I will also be looking at the moon. Okay?
Todd does that every night, all right? He sings to the moon.
Yeah, about 11:59. At the 12, I cut it off. So you better be looking up there for that minute, okay?
No, he sings at 12:22, guys. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, don't he put it in my head? Yes, I do. We talked about this. I will see 12:22 on the clock twice a day if I'm up late enough. Every single fucking day of my life.
Yeah, so you can find us on all the social media platforms.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Facebook, Instagram. You can email us at theendofsight@gmail.com. Talking over the woohoos. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars with a big woohoo. That would be great. And reach out. Todd will talk to you.
Yeah, Nate should talk to you, but I'll talk to you through Nate. Yeah, if anything goes wrong on social media, it's Todd's fault. Anything goes good, I get no credit for it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, tell those you hate, all that goodness, as usual.
Awesome.
Yeah. Until then, any sign off, Nate? I ask you every time, hoping you've come up with something clever for an off episode or off movie sign off. Do you have one?
Nope. Just this is Nate signing off from Bedloe's Island.
He's in New York, guys. This is a real remote podcast. We had to do it. I said, I don't care where you are, we're doing the pod. I cracked that whip on this guy. Yeah, it's fucking Candyland. That's it, baby. See you next week. Well, you'll hear us next week. Okay, bye.